Today's guest is Sarah Strimel Bentley, a former Broadway performer, mother, and wellness advocate whose story opens up conversations around women's health, body image, relationships, fertility, so many other fun things, motherhood, in a way that feels very deeply honest and real, and what it means to stay connected to yourself through different seasons of life. In this episode, we talk about everything from naked yoga to daily rituals to freezing embryos very early in a relationship, the story of baby Chance and the journey that led to his birth through surrogacy. We also get into relationships, communication, sex, partnership, and how women can build a healthier relationship with their bodies in a culture that constantly asks us to critique them. My hope is that you leave this conversation with a healthier perspective on your relationship with your body, permission to let your life unfold in a way that doesn't look traditional. It's for many of us, and a reminder that vulnerability, communication, and self-trust are all skills that we can all build. This is such a beautiful and layered conversation. It's also fun and funny, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. I also want to mention that this episode of Pink 365 is sponsored by MBC Cure, an organization dedicated to funding groundbreaking metastatic breast cancer research and pushing conversations around women's health forward in a real and meaningful way. And I also want to thank Cancer Culture for supporting this episode and creating spaces where women can feel more informed, empowered, and less alone in conversations surrounding their health. Also, Sarah Strimel Bentley is a social media superstar. She chronicles all of the tales of everyday life in the most hilarious and meaningful way on her Instagram. You guys must follow her. And if you want to check out some of her incredibly important impact work, she's the founder of A Chance for Life, which is a surrogacy agency, which their first live birth, a whole baby funded by them, is coming in July. Very exciting and so much more work to come. Miss Sarah Strimel Bentley, welcome to Pink 365.
Oh my God, girl, I'm so excited to be here. I wore pink for you, and you know.
Thank you so much.
It's a rarity.
I've got my little jeans on. Is it a rarity for you?
When I'm not like in the world. You love the color pink.
Yeah, I love the color pink.
I'm wearing pink only at breast cancer events.
Oh, are you more like a neutral girl?
She's giving you neutrals and black. Like
Okay,
I was saying the other day,
wow.
why did I not get like the neutral cancer? Is there one?
Imagine you get cancer and your color's like tan.
I would be down with
You're
that.
like, okay, I'm like, that would wash me out everywhere. I'm like, pink is so great for me. I would have loved a blue to kind of complement my eyes.
Yeah, a blue cancer. Okay.
But, you know, all the colors of the rainbow.
Right. So I got the pink one. But anyway, I digress. I wore my pink top because Pink 365 is very important to me. So there you are.
Thank you. I want to go back before, everyone's already going to hear the intro and the fact that we're already talking about cancer, but let's go back pre all of this because Sarah was a showgirl, still are a showgirl. And I want to talk about how did you get into that? That's a already like crazy life path to choose. I've been in the theater realm and the film and TV realm and have slowly escaped out of it because it's intense, man.
Yes.
So I want to talk about that time in your life.
Yeah. You were a child actress too.
Super different.
You were giving, so I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I started dancing when I was 3. So I always, but like I also did all the other stuff growing up. I like was a cheerleader and tried softball and tried to play the oboe. Not great. Like, so, through all of that, I discovered, yes, I wanted to dance. And when I was like 12, I went from awkward weirdo dancer to, maybe this. My mom was like, she said to my dad, who was a professional football coach, she was like, I think maybe Sarah could do this. Like before they were like, no chance. But so I started really, truly training in my later high school years to be a dancer. And I started singing. And I did the high school musicals, and I was very tall. I'm still very tall. Yeah, no one can see how tall I am. I'm 5'11".
Yeah, Sarah is 5'11" and just stunningly gorgeous, strongest body ever.
Thanks, girl.
Yeah.
Thanks. Much stronger now.
But you give like showgirl energy.
That's
always.
Good. That's good.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Incredible.
It was bad when I was dating in New York, but I'll get there.
Okay.
So I was performing professionally in Pittsburgh because I was tall. So they cast me as an adult in shows downtown at like Pittsburgh Musical Theater.
Okay.
So I knew this was my path, and I went to college for musical theater.
Wow.
At Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. At the time was like the marquee program. think there were 12 people in my class.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. I somehow made it in, and then I left college my senior year. I was 6 credits short of graduating. I left in November because I would fly myself back and forth to New York City to audition for Broadway shows while I was in college.
That's crazy.
Is
that just what the kids did though?
No, it's what I did because
Okay.
without getting in, there's like all these intricacies of, are you in the union? Like if you were in the Actors Equity Association is the union for musical theater performers. Most kids in college weren't in that.
Yeah.
I came into college with my union card because I was performing professionally back home.
Oh, you were just in it.
I don't know. I thought I was. Listen, I knew nothing. But I did have this magical card that got me into Broadway auditions. So I was kind of the only one doing that at the time.
I was an equity member too.
Oh my God. How old were you?
I was in 5th grade.
Oh my God, you beat me. Superstar.
So weird.
I know. It was weird. I think I was 18 when I got mine. So
Yeah. Major.
I mean, look at, high five. Look at us. Advanced. So anyway, I got the producers on Broadway. You know, I flew myself to New York a few times and booked the producers, the musical, the Mel Brooks musical. I booked it when I was 6 credits short of graduating. And to me, and this is how I live my life as well to this day, you know, it wasn't the best timing. Like I probably should have got my college degree, but when a door opens,
Yeah.
it's open. You got to walk through it.
Yeah.
You don't know when it's going to open again, especially in show business, right? So I left school. My parents came to pack up my apartment. You know, I had to fly out right away to go rehearse in Chicago because it was a national tour I booked before the Broadway cast. And yeah, so that started my entire career. It's why I moved to New York City. I did 7 Broadway shows in 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
OG showgirl. Showgirl.
Let's just run through this quickly. What's your favorite Broadway show?
Okay, so I always answer Rock of Ages.
Okay.
Because I got to play a stripper, and that was really fun.
Obsessed.
Every Broadway show I had to do, I was elegante. I was like pulled
Because
together.
this was more like classic Broadway times, right? Now it's very like, I feel like even if you look at like the body types on Broadway, they've changed so much and we've gotten so much more diversity and so many more new faces of
Thankfully.
like, I feel like a lot of the dancers on Broadway now are like hip hop.
Yes.
Like, and they are machines.
Yes.
But it's not like, you don't get the long line of chorus girls anymore.
No.
Rarely.
Yeah, and it was like a different era. You know, thankfully, right? That was my in. But that was, all the women were above, I think you had to be 5'8" to audition for the producers. Maybe 5'7". So yes, so that was the era. So Rock of Ages was, they were like, you're way too tall for this show. They even said it because it was a very small stage.
Yeah.
And a very small cast. But they were like, we really love you. So we're going to, you know, you just got to really go fast because it was like the choreography was very quick and I'm twice as long as everybody else on stage.
I'm obsessed.
But so Rock of Ages was really fun. I loved doing the producers. And my last show was called An American in Paris, which was a ballet musical. And I hated doing that, but I loved it as well because it was really, really challenging for me. In ballet, they want you to be perfect. Every angle, every arm, everything must be perfection. And if it's not, you're bad, right? And I hate that. In life, I'm like, let's color outside the lines. Let's be a little weird. Weird is cool. Perfect is boring.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of struggle in that last show. And that's when I retired. But it also taught me a lot about myself.
Yeah.
You know, through this difficulty. So that's, you know, that kind of ran the gamut through my favorites for different reasons.
Okay, so you transitioned from being a showgirl more into the yoga world.
So while I was performing, when I hit 30, y'all, okay, I'm 44. I'm 44 right now.
She's clearing the air
I'm clearing
because
the air.
everyone was dying to know.
I'm 44. So like when I hit 30, I knew, I'm like, okay, there's an expiration date on this dancing thing. Now I also sang, you know, so I was like, maybe I'll transition to a character actor if I want to stay on Broadway. But I have no college degree. And I don't know when my time is going to be. I was also sort of nearing the end of, it's a hard life. 8 shows a week.
Yeah.
Can't date. No time to date.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to meet a guy. I wanted to have a family, you know. I was like, hey, I can have a date with you. This is before you swiped. This is like Match.com days. And I was like, I can have a date with you at 11 o'clock. And they were like, certainly not dinner at 11. Who are you? I'm like, I'm a showgirl.
Yeah.
So I'm already thinking about transitioning. I don't have a college degree, and I loved yoga. I did yoga to keep my body from getting injured on Broadway.
Okay.
So I was, they're like, you have to do something else besides dancing, right? Kicking on the same leg 8 times a week is just bad for your body. Hated the gym, hated all of it, loved yoga, loved hot power yoga. So I started practicing that religiously, and I never got injured on Broadway. If there's wood, I would knock on it. My tits. No, they're hard. We'll get into why my tits are hard in a second. So yeah, I got my yoga certification and started teaching yoga while performing on Broadway.
Okay.
And like honing that as a backup. So I'd teach like a 6:30 a.m. and an 8 a.m. class. I'd go to a matinee, and then I'd do a night show. I was just grinding. That was the moment.
Damn.
Yeah, I was doing it all. I was like 30 in New York City, So then when I retired from Broadway, I launched my own yoga brand in the Hamptons. And that sort of brought me into my career as a business owner, because I had to Google how to make an LLC.
Major. Didn't we all?
Did you? I don't know.
I had to Google how to make an LLC, yeah.
We're hustlers. We're self-made women. I'm proud of us.
I didn't know how to do anything.
No, that's why now we have AI. Back then it was
so
Google.
True. So how did we start dating? How did we get to this point?
How did we get to the point of yoga?
How did we get to the point where we are now? You're teaching yoga.
Yeah, where are we?
And then we start dating James somewhere in there.
So I'm teaching yoga in New York City. I opened this yoga studio in the Hamptons. I am single and I am wild.
Okay.
I was like Queen of Montauk. Like everyone's like, who's the single girl with wild curly hair? That I lived on a sailboat. I bought a 30-foot Catalina sailboat because I couldn't afford to live in the Hamptons, but it was cheaper to live on a sailboat and dock it. And then I would bring all the yoga teachers there for free. They could stay with me. Like,
could you take the sailboat out?
Yes, we sailed the sailboat. Like,
can you drive it?
Huh? Drive. Yes, I can sail. Yes, it's sailing. I can sail the boat. Yes. I could not alone. A 30-foot like wooden sailboat's definitely like I can't sail it alone. Okay. I'm not that good.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a crew, but we didn't do it enough because you're so busy in the Hamptons as a business owner.
Yeah, also like that's your like life. So like
right. Okay. And so you like go to events, and you go to Surf Lodge.
Right.
And you're like 6 margaritas in, then you got to come home to your sailboat and swab the decks.
Yeah.
Drunk.
Like clear them off?
Yeah, swabbing. You got to clean your decks. You got to clean them, and then you got to get like the boat pumped out if you use the restroom in the boat. You got to have another boat come pump your... It's a lot. I wasn't ready. But I'm going to write a book about it.
Okay.
So I'm in the Hamptons. I'm dating everyone in Montauk.
Obsessed.
And, when that Hampton season ends, I come back to the city and I'm teaching yoga here. I'm teaching private concierge yoga. And I'm dating all the people.
Okay.
And I'm falling in love every 4 months or so, and then it doesn't work out until I meet a guy named James Spencer Bentley. December 6, 2019. Yeah. So December of 2019, we like fall in love. We go to San Francisco on our 5th date, and we're both 38 at this point. We're the same age, and we both had kind of done this same pattern New York thing, dated all the people. And I came back from that 5th date in San Francisco. I'm like, Mom, this is my husband. And I know I've said this before, Mom, but I've said it a few times, but I really believe this. And then
what was it about him? Why did you think that?
I don't know. Do you know that like he's very tall.
Yeah.
And he was definitely, I said, no finance guys. This is like, I was like, I'm not dating any more finance guys.
Right.
He's a finance guy.
Yeah.
And he had like a Ralph Lauren turtleneck on our first date. And like, he's redhead. He's like very preppy from New England. Yeah. And I was in like my hair slicked back and big hoops and like a rock and roll tee. I'm like, I don't know if this guy can handle me. But it was that beautiful sort of dichotomy of us. And he would go down the rabbit hole. Like in San Francisco, we would like go karaoke. And he got on stage and sang Free Fallin'. Wrong, bad, horrible. But he did it.
Yeah, I love that.
And like we just physically connected. Yeah. And we complimented each other beautifully.
Okay, I love this.
Yeah, and he cooks. He's great.
Okay.
I love my husband very much. So, and then we're like falling in love. All is good. All the things. We're hosting dinner parties. And then there's a global pandemic.
naturally.
You're right. I mean, thanks. And
This
so
was really like make or break for a lot of people. Like I feel like a lot of people were in new relationships
Yeah.
and then the pandemic happened and it's like, okay, either we're never seeing each other again or we're going to hunker down.
right. And that's the choice we had.
Yeah.
We were like, do we hunker down together? Yes. That answer was quick.
Okay.
Do we do it in New York? Do we go to my parents in Florida?
Okay.
Or his parents, who are both surgeons in Boston? Okay, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're not going to Boston. So we go to Florida. We show up at my parents I had a puppy at the time. So the three of us. Glory. Yeah.
Glory.
A little Boston Terrier.
I don't know where I got Gloria.
Because it's my grandmother's name, and that's where Glory came from.
Really?
I named my dog after my grandma.
I love that.
I felt it was my grandmother reincarnated, and it's bizarre because my dog is
Glory.
a spaz. I love her. Yeah, so we quarantined with my parents in Sarasota, Florida. We were supposed to be there for 2 weeks. We were there for 3 months. We cooked every night. We danced. It was like this bizarro experience because COVID was terrible.
Yeah.
But yet somehow we had this time we'll never get back. I think a lot of people
I agree. Yeah.
found that. So we decided to buy a house together on the internet because we can't live in Florida forever. So we were like, maybe we buy a house in Miami. No, we're going to buy a house in the Hamptons because that's where I had businesses. And we thought we could go back and, have this home together. And then we moved in together in the city. So in the summer of 2020,
Okay.
I moved into his apartment.
Yep.
We moved into our East Hampton house.
Okay.
Neither of us had ever owned anything. So this was an experience. And then 3 weeks into moving into our East Hampton house, there was a hurricane the day we moved in. We lost power. So many stories and stories. We'd be here all day. 3 weeks into moving in, my entire life changed forever. We were walking on the beach. We live across the street from the beach, walking Crazy Glory. And it was sunset. So every night we would take a rosé and we'd walk and we'd be like, how the hell do we live here? This is like, how are we here? This is everything we ever wanted. Right. So I'm at like the peak life. I got the guy. I got the puppy. I got the beach house. I got, my business. I pivoted to doing everything online, which we all did. And then all of a sudden I had an itch under my armpit. And I reached down like right here. You guys, you're listening. So it's like, right on my left breast. And there was a lump the size of a walnut under my fingers. And I was like, what the can I curse on your podcast?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, I never wore bras. I was like a 32D. So they're very easily accessible. So I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
I'm like, James, feel this. He was like, that's never been there. He's touching my boobs a lot. He's like a new boyfriend.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, just call your doctor. Yeah, call your doctor tomorrow. So we drank tons of rosé, did what we did at our house, cooked, partied. And so I called my doctor the next day. And my gynecologist of like 15 years. And she's like, telehealth,
Right.
She's like, it's nothing. You have no family history of breast cancer. You are 38. You are healthy. We have no known genetic mutation. You're good. You're good, Sarah. This is nothing but. Let's just schedule you for an ultrasound just so we know it's nothing. Okay, cool. Done. So then they call me from Mount Sinai. The radiology department calls me and they're like, great, we can get you in December. This is August. This is August 21st. I found my lump. So I was like, ooh, can you have your supervisor call me? Supervisor calls back a few days later. Was like, okay, the best we can do, it is COVID and this is nothing, this is not important, really, basically is what they were saying in their words. It's just like a double check. So end of October. And then I got off the phone and I'm like, that doesn't feel okay.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this feels like something, not nothing. And I was like listening to my body and I wanted it to be nothing so badly. I really did. And, so then I knew I had to like start phoning friends and just figuring out how I could move the needle.
Right.
I didn't know anything about this. I'd never had to have a radiology appointment.
Yeah, it's like, how do you even make one? Right.
Like who do you even call? So, and this is going to bring up a much bigger issue, which is, the disparity of access in healthcare. And I called the rich people that I knew. I was teaching a billionaire yoga. So I went to her house in Southampton. I was in a sports bra, mask, and my leggings, as we do in COVID. And I walked in, and she'd had some health issues, and she was like, you know, rah, 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 doctors. And I said, you know, I say too. She goes, what's wrong with you? I said, I found a lump in my breast. And she picked up the phone, and then she got one of the, if not the, leading radiologists, private radiology firms in the city. And she said, oh, you're with your mom at the ophthalmologist? You're going to leave your mom. This to the doctor. And this Sarah is going to be on your table in an hour and a half. She's going to drive from Southampton right now, and you're going to give her an ultrasound.
Just like that. How that went?
Just like that. And then after she hung up, she looked at me, this woman, and she goes, they don't take insurance. And I'm like, I'm a yoga I am not a billionaire.
Yeah, don't you see me at your house teaching you yoga all
right,
the time?
Like I'm teaching you yoga every day. I'm driving 2 hours to teach you yoga. Like I do not. And so I took a moment, and she goes, get in the car. So I get in the car, and I drive. And I go to this office, and I almost don't walk through the door.
Because you were terrified?
Terrified. Mental math.
Yeah.
We just bought a house. I just furnished it at Home Goods. Hello. I don't have the cash.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to do this. If there's ever a time for savings, it's right now.
Wow.
So I walked in the door, got my ultrasound. The doctor did it. And I'll never forget. She goes, if it's nothing, we're just going to like pop it like a balloon. And if it's something, we won't pop it. And then if it's something, we may have to take it out, but it might not be anything bad. So she's doing the ultrasound. I'm watching her because like we're actresses. Like I'm used to studying people. That's what we do for a living.
Of course.
And her face is changing. And then she's going all around my body. And I look at her and I was like, what's going on? I'm shaking. Like, what's going on? I'm all alone. I'm like a fucking sports bra. And she goes, so we're not going to pop it like a balloon. And I'm like, and then she picks up the phone and she's like, get her in a mammogram now. And like everything happened so quickly.
So you just knew right then and there.
Girl. And I'm like, she needs a better poker face, honey. So and she's not part of a big hospital system. So like, It's not, because the hospital ones, they don't even,
regulation.
You cannot.
Yeah.
So they get me in a mammogram in the next room, and she then does they've done everything. And she sits me down and she goes, we're going to do a biopsy next week. And then you have an appointment with a breast surgeon named Dr. Port on Wednesday. And I go, my face went white. And she said, just as a precaution, honey, we can always cancel it. And I'm like, I knew.
Yeah.
I knew. And this was Labor Day weekend. So this is a Friday. And so she goes, we can do the biopsy on Tuesday because it's a holiday. So I go back to the Hamptons. I drink 8 bottles of white wine and cry. And I'm shaking, and I'm teaching yoga all weekend, and I'm drinking wine. And then I like took mushrooms on Sunday night because I just needed to like not be in my body.
Like disassociate.
And I went on Tuesday for the biopsy, back to the private radiology firm. And the doctor, a different doctor this time, James was with me. She's prepping my breast, and he's holding my hand above my head. And she looks at me and she said, sweetie, I'm going to call you tomorrow, and I need to prepare you with what I'm going to tell you. This is before she even did the biopsy. I said, what? And she goes, I know what this is. I know, I've seen the ultrasound. I know exactly what this is. And I stopped and I said, I have breast cancer. And she said, yeah. And then they stuck me like, I love you. They stuck me like 20 times in my armpit and in my breast. And I'm crying, and he's holding my hand. And that was how I got diagnosed with breast cancer. Crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
Also, why would they tell you before the biopsy?
Like, why? Like, why? Can you do it and then tell me, So it was, that was like, and then what happens? Like, then what happens is you leave and they ask you for your credit card. You're like, oh, thank you. Like the paper towel. We should have known.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't have.
I'm like a puddle. I'm normalizing
I think
crying.
it's really beautiful, too, that you're able to stay so connected to this experience.
Oh, yeah. Are you still?
I think I've learned how to, and it's not a good skill. I think it's just like, I feel like I box it out because we both talk.
Compartmentalize it.
We both talk about it so much.
Yeah.
And I find it difficult to emotionally go back to that place a lot. I think it just hits at different times.
And I think I'm talking to you.
That is also why.
And I think that,
when it's with someone I love.
Right. I love you. You were like a little sister to me. Only a little sister because you're younger than me, because you are big, girl. Your energies, you're big. You are like a powerful goddess. I love you too. But yeah, I think we compartmentalize because it now has become part of our job to be advocates because we have chosen this path.
Right.
So yeah, not every time, but it still lives. It lives.
Yeah.
When I tell the story, it lives here.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to rebrand crying. Hashtag normalize crying.
Obsessed.
Always. So yeah.
Crying is very important.
So important. We got to move it through. If we don't move it through, it just sits there.
Okay. So I would like for you to tell the audience, what was your medical diagnosis? I get this question every time. I always forget to say even what I was diagnosed with, and then everyone in my comments is like, wait, but I can't, I have no reference.
Right, I need to know. I'm stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma with lymph node involvement. So I had a 5-centimeter tumor. That was what I felt that day, the walnut. So 5 centimeters, size of a big walnut golf ball. The cancer had spread into my lymph nodes. And the part of the story that's very important, because I acted quickly, they later told me that if I would have waited for that original ultrasound, I would most likely be stage 4 metastatic, because my cancer was ER/PR positive, HER2 negative. So it fed on hormones. And it was a hungry cancer. I had 99%. What is that score?
KI67 or something.
I think that was it. It was
the growing speed of it.
Fast. The fastest. And they're like, Sarah, you saved your own life.
Yeah.
By going through the door of that radiology firm. So yeah, that's my diagnosis. That was and so I did, I had that, I went to the appointment with my doctor. We decided in the office to do we decided in the office a single mastectomy. And because she's like, a double is, it's the same outcome with your kind of cancer to do a double versus a single. The recurrence rate is the same.
Okay.
And then in that office that day, and I didn't even know what we were talking about. I'm like, what do you mean a lumpectomy, mastectomy? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have cancer.
Correct.
But she's the best, so I defer to her. She's like, why would we do a huge surgery if we don't need to?
Right.
Okay? I'm like, okay, you know more. And then in the same breath, she asked about, if James and I wanted kids. This is very important.
Yeah.
Anyone that's listening, this is very important. And I'm like, of course we do. We want kids. I might not have a breast, right? But I can breastfeed out the other one. She's like, well, you're probably going to need chemo and radiation. And you're probably going to need medicine afterwards.
Okay.
To keep your cancer from coming back. So we need to do fertility preservation. What?
Yeah.
We need to do 2 rounds of IVF before you start chemo.
2 rounds?
2 rounds. If we can. If we're able to, and I think we should be able to.
That totally actually makes sense.
Yeah, because I'm 38.
Yeah.
Right? I'd never been pregnant. I've done my AMH. Right? They tested that at a Lululemon event or something, in the Hamptons. I think I probably had a margarita in one hand and getting the blood test. And I was like, AMH, cute. Or should I have some AMH? I didn't know what it was. Right? So
real.
So she's like, we just to make sure, that you guys can have babies in the future. She hadn't broached surrogacy or any of that yet. She just was like, let's freeze some stuff. So she gave me a breast cancer binder. And with all my appointments for the week.
Okay.
Right. So then after my diagnosis, they called the next day after the biopsy, official diagnosis. Sat in Dr. Port's office. She gave me a single mastectomy. We're going to go to the IVF office after that. So then the next couple of days, I walk around New York City with my breast cancer binder, like a model with a goatee, I always say. And I was with my little, but except it's where do you go for breast cancer? Not where do you go for castings?
Yes.
And so I had a PET scan, I had a breast MRI, I had a needle biopsy MRI, I had, you name it, I had it that week. Did you go through nightmares?
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't even tell me what a PET scan was, so I wasn't terrified.
Yeah, with the tube and drinking the thing.
Or if it's the
I had the I had the ink that went in.
Oh, the contrast.
Yeah, the contrast.
That was for one of the MRIs, but the PET scans where you drink the chalk, I'm sure they gave you a PET scan.
No, yeah, I've had that.
But I didn't know why. So the PET scans to make sure it hasn't spread.
Oh,
but they didn't say that.
Worst
Did you know
day
that?
of my life. Yeah, worst day of my life. And I like always would. They had the scans in the room or whatever, and I don't know how to read shit. So I saw like my liver and my
You
heart and
saw
all of this bright lights everywhere. I didn't know it was just like a heat reading. I don't know how they do it, whatever. But I came back from that PET scan and I was like, it's everywhere.
Oh, girl, you saw the.
Yes.
No.
And I didn't know how to read it, and I thought I was an expert. Like, whatever.
This is where no knowledge is power. No
Yeah,
knowledge is
truly.
power when you're in this because like the same like. So I get all this stuff done, and then we go to the fertility office at RMA, and we're sitting there, and James is in one chair, and I'm in the other, and already I'm like, is this guy gonna leave me? I know we're in love, but like, good time to cut and run, bro. Like, you fell in love with someone who's,
And like he could.
could have. Most and New York guys would have.
Yeah.
They would have been like, oh, swipe right on someone new.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On to the next.
And he sat there, and the doctor said, do you want to freeze your eggs, or do you guys want to make embryos together? Right? And that was like, whoa. And he goes, embryos are a better chance of having a baby, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, baby, 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 baby. And I'm like, oh, wait. And James out of nowhere just goes, embryos. And then, of course, I start sobbing. And so we freeze embryos together. We do 2 rounds of IVF. So anyway, I then walk away from this whole week with a plan, right? And then I decide I want a double mastectomy because I just, in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be crooked or lopsided. I want to feel symmetrical.
Okay.
And I want to feel beautiful.
Yes.
Because, and we were talking about this, and I think this is an important thing to maybe launch into now.
Yeah.
It's a good time in the story. Of like, I'm dating a man, we're in love, but I'm a dancer my whole life. I'm a yogi. My body is how I navigate the world. And I'm in my 30s in New York City, so I want to look good.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, I want to be symmetrical, and I want my breasts. If I'm going to have one fake boob, I want 2.
Right.
So I called my doctor, and she fought with me. She was like, Sarah, this is not just like a casual choice that you're
Right.
making. It's a long surgery. The chances for infection are more.
Right.
She goes, now in my OR, you're never going to get an infection. She's like, you'll be fine with me, but I just need to tell you. And so we had a very heated conversation. And I'm like, I want this. She goes, okay, we're doing it.
Yeah.
Do I have your blessing? She's like, I can't. This is your decision. I said, what if it was your daughter? What if it's your daughter? What would you say? So we chose to do the double mastectomy because I knew that my body was going to change. And I wanted to do everything I could to keep it as close to me as possible.
Yeah. So like coming from, was there a change before and after breast cancer in terms of your own body image? And like, what were some of your fears, or what did you feel like you were getting yourself into?
Totally. I mean, listen, with this whole story of my life, was a dancer. I had a severe eating disorder in my teens. It didn't come, I was always tall and skinny. So it didn't come from me wanting to lose weight. It came from a control thing, right? Because I was very type A.
Yeah.
It's like I do things perfectly. So I had a very bad eating disorder, and it took about a decade to come back from that in the dance world, which was like a wild recovery. I gained more weight in college. I was heavier than my normal. And so I've danced with this devil, this body image devil. And then I worked in an industry where we were bodies.
Yeah.
Our body must look perfect.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in a cast, and one of the choreographers came in and was like, all of you have been eating too many croissants. And at this point, I was now over my eating disorder. So I stood up and I was like, you will not body shame us. I was like, these women are killing themselves,
Yeah.
So I'm going into breast cancer strong. I can stand on my hands in yoga. I can do handstands. I'm like a surfer. I surf. I'm always in a thong bikini, whatever.
Yes.
I'm finally in my bones and in my body, and it's all working. And then breast cancer, right? So we were talking breast cancer is the only cancer that you can gain weight.
Right.
In treatment.
Okay.
Right? I mean, essentially. Most people when you have cancer.
the connotation is that you like are throwing up and you're not eating and you're getting really sick. And again, like people just blanket terms over all cancer when really they're all so different.
Right.
But a lot of times with breast cancer, and I'm not sure if it's just the hormone positive segment, but like I even remember someone calling it chemo moon face.
I think it's like a perfect
I look
storm.
back and I'm like, I didn't have that. That's what I think. And then I look back at photos and I'm like, I
You
did
had it,
have a moon
we
face.
both had it.
I totally had a moon face.
We did. We
I was
had
like this little round potato.
You were a little round cherub.
Yeah.
We were. I call myself the farting potato, the bald farting potato from chemo. That was my real sexy time.
Yeah.
Real sexy. So yeah, they're putting us, if you have hormone positive breast cancer, they're going to put us into chemical menopause. But even so, without the hormone positive, a lot of women go into chemical menopause from the chemo, right? So we're heading into losing our breasts physically and reconstruction, whatever you choose. We chose implants, but not immediately. Many surgeries later. So we're going to have that. So we're going to have scars. Right? We're going to have radiation, you and I. So radiation is going to make them asymmetrical, right? No matter what we do.
I had a freak out over that yesterday.
Did you? My tits are, guys, you can't see them, or if you can, because some of them were on camera. I have crooked boobs still. And my nipples, they had to move my nipples around after the fact. My plastic surgeon said he had to move my nipple like a button on his suit, which was curious. Love you. Love you, doctor. I won't say his name, but like, he's great. But also, like, my nipples are not buttons.
Yeah.
They're nipples.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So you're heading into this massive change. Am I going to gain weight from chemo, from this menopause? My hair. Now, guys, I have like wild curly hair that I was never like madly in love with. So I chose not to cold cap for chemo, which means I chose not to try to save my hair. For me, the bald was a battle cry.
Yeah.
So I went bald. I didn't wig. I didn't have a kid I had to worry about their I could just own my cancer.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that. God bless women who are going through it with small children. So yeah, bald, puffy, and I'm freaking out because I'm in love with
new mans.
Yes, new mans. Like, with menopause, am I not going to be able to have sex? Is my puss going to dry up? Like, so I'm
Valid
so terrified.
questions.
Valid. So I'm so terrified. And he's not making me feel any of this, by the way. It's me.
Yes. And that's enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm worried about, like, is my eating disorder coming back in while I'm trying to fight for my life?
Right.
Like, am I afraid to eat and fuel my body during chemo? Now, I didn't let it win, but it came in. Intrusive thoughts.
Yes, totally.
To the point where I had my drain still in. I've never said this publicly, and I love this. I've just told it to my girlfriends. I had my drain still in, and I was so freaked out about James leaving me. Again, all me, not him. I was like, let's have sex right now. This was a week after my double mastectomy. I'm like, I was holding my drains. I let him bend me over the counter.
Absolutely.
Yes. Bent me over the front from behind. I don't know. You can edit this out. Whatever. You can, if this is too much, you're pink 365.
No.
I'm holding my drains and we are having sex.
And you're like, we're still going to be doing this.
I'm like, I'm going to show you, husband, this cancer will not take our sex life away. Probably like not like but not enjoyable for me, but like this is how much when you are a young woman, any age, but really when you are like in your sexual, it railroads everything. Right?
I completely understand that.
You do.
Yeah.
Did you have a panic of like, girl, you were in college.
I was just like trying to like, I didn't have, I had a partner at the time.
Right.
Some of going through treatment, but then afterwards, like this has been a long thing that I've been navigating of the medically induced menopause and the sexual wellness component of like trying to figure it out because it hasn't been comfortable. And there was definitely a time where I was like, yeah, so I'm actually never going to be able to have sex again.
100%.
And yeah, then like, what is that going to look like when I'm trying to casually date people or like get a boyfriend? Like I wasn't even able to like have intercourse. It was that painful.
Yeah.
So I was like, so hope you're okay with entering a relationship or we're not having sex.
At like 20.
That's a super important part of a relationship.
It's
like terrifying.
It's so much more important. And here's where it'll change, I think is really an interesting thing to get into is like, it's so important no matter how old you are. My parents are still having sex in their mid-70s. God bless. They're madly in love. As they should. I would love to be having sex in my mid-70s. James. Take care of your body, honey. Okay. So like, yes, in any relationship. And then also layered in on like dating in the modern day world is that it's feeling like we're constantly having to be like the best at everything, like for someone to love us. At least here in New York, I don't know. Like it's a feeling I have.
It's really intense here.
I was
completely
like,
agree.
They're always like, there's something better down the road. So I'm like, well, if I'm coming to the party and I'm like, well, you can't, the sex is not going to be.
Yeah, I'm like, so I'm immediately eliminated.
Right, immediately. And this is where the change happened. You go through cancer. You go through like the insane amount of mental and emotional gymnastics it takes to get through treatment. And then survivorship is a whole other ball of wax. You get through this and you're like, yes, like I have a painful sex now. Sometimes I'm on vaginal estrogen. We're doing all the things we can do. And it's good now. We're good.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't use it, you lose it. This is a good thing to remember. And I know it's bad, like, but you got to it's a whole thing. Won't get into. But here's the point I'm going to make is I've never had better sex than I have right now because I am embodied in my body, meaning I have asked the questions of my body and I am with a partner who has seen me go through the worst of what you can go through. So now there is no performative. Who likes to be on top cowgirl style? Not me. It doesn't feel good. I don't come that way. Sorry. And like, I'm like, James, we get like, I'm not trying to pretend.
Yeah.
And now because I am so embodied in my body and I've taken ownership of the changes of it and I've made peace with it and I've turned towards it instead of away from it.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot when you're sick. You can either divorce your body or you can say, let's get to know each other again.
Absolutely.
And now, the sex is it's a whole different layer of
I think for women
connection.
too, it can be so emotional and mental that when you work on turning towards your body and regaining that trust and comfort level and knowledge about what makes you feel good, then you're able to relax more and like
and have
not
a real
be
orgasm.
and not be like in your head the whole time or like just focused on your partner.
Yeah. And so like this is all to say that I have changed and I didn't gain weight. And that was because my body was my body. My body reacts differently, like, than your body and than anybody. And I also think it's because I did like allow myself to just live into the experience. And like I say, don't forecast. If you're in treatment, don't think that your treatment's going to be the treatment you read about on the message board. Don't think that your experience sexually is going to be what yours, like we are all so different.
Yeah.
It's just to stay open and to keep turning towards yourself.
Yeah.
And to keep keep that conversation going, and like body image wise too. I look at myself naked in the mirror now and I don't see like, I lost my ass. Like my butt is gone, because of the menopause or whatever. And my kneecaps are flabby. Like someone commented online, they're like, oh, you have saggy kneecaps. And I was like, bitch, please. If that's the last, if that's the smallest thing I have, then,
we're fine.
My skin lost its elasticity. So what? Like, I lost my train of thought now, but like it's, I look at myself in the mirror and I don't see cancer.
Yeah.
And I don't see menopause. And I don't see my hair being strange lengths because growing out a pixie is weird. Now these things are all happening and I have scars, but I do see I just see strength and I see peace. So on the back end of all of this, like this cancer journey teaches us that, I don't know if it taught you, it taught me, I'll say it me, I'll just claim my own. Like it taught me that like this perfectly imperfect body could carry me through that. So like it can carry me through anything. And that's beautiful.
That is so beautiful.
And
meaningful. And I think for me moving through treatment, I mean, I guess I wasn't like super active. I'd say like when I was in treatment, I was doing minimal amounts of movement. Afterwards, I'm like so in my movement era. And I think for anyone who is not in the cancer experience and will never experience that, which is amazing, and that's most people.
Praise be.
I really think movement is such a beautiful tool to hone that kind of embodiment and like really feel connected to your body. And that can help with everything from sleep to your own body image to sexual pleasure to name anything. And connecting with movement and like learning what you love, I think that's a big way I've come back to loving my body after feeling like a puffy potato going through chemo.
Yeah. I mean, 100% movement's medicine, right? And like they say, all of the outcomes are improved, right? Your chemo outcome, your recurrence rate goes down, your survivorship is easier, your menopause symptoms, the achy joints.
Yeah.
Everything gets better if you move. And that doesn't mean that you have to go do a Barry's boot camp class and sprint at a 10.
No.
Because that kind of like feels like shit to me some days, you know?
Most days, yeah.
Right. Like, I still love my Soul Cycle. I love Beyonce Wednesdays. Shout out Beyonce Wednesdays. Like,
Yeah.
I love moving in a strong, powerful way, besides the fact that it does scientifically help outcomes.
It literally helps every single outcome.
I mean, even in chemo, even when I was, and I honestly didn't get, I mean, it was really hard, but I didn't get like, I wasn't vomiting. Were you sick? Could you eat?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I could totally eat. Some days I was like, not eating.
Right.
But most days eating.
Same. Yeah. I like drank wine during chemo.
I think it was also a lot of
It's not great, but
like I was drinking too some
girl.
of the time, which we can talk about next. But
Yeah.
I think I was eating a lot of just like comfort food.
Yeah.
Maybe not like the most nourishing. But you can't do it all at once.
My
I'll tell you that.
oncologist was like, girl, if you want to eat what you want. Like, cause
Yeah.
I was like, okay, can I drink wine? She was like, you're not going to want to drink wine. And if you do, go for it.
Yeah.
She's like, we're carpet bombing your body.
Yeah,
So
okay.
live your best life.
Yeah, so true.
So, I mean, I still eat this way. I eat so intuitively that like, and I did the same in chemo. Like that didn't change. Like I love a pastry. Girl, I will
Yeah.
have a piece of birthday cake for breakfast, a kale salad for lunch. It is balance. It is balance.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's, again, you have to like listen to your body. But yeah, so I wasn't too sick during chemo, so I was able to move every day. So I went to my yoga mat every morning at a yoga studio. I would heal from my round of chemo here in the city. We'd go out to our beach house because it was just peaceful. And it was still during a global pandemic, so you didn't really want to like go anywhere when you were in chemo and you had no immune system.
Yeah.
And I would go in my underwear very purposefully because I wanted to stay close to like my naked body as it was changing through my mastectomy, through chemo, through radiation. And I would do yoga in my underwear. And on some days I would roll around and cry. No yoga, no like real yoga, you know, like. And some days I would do like crow pose and stand on my hands and do a full like back bends and crazy.
Yeah.
And it looked different every morning, but it was the practice for me of how do I stay close to the body? How do I move? I would walk the dog, you know? And so I think now
So beautiful.
it is. And now, like, I think I've never felt stronger at 44 in menopause.
Really?
Really, really.
That's so awesome and gives me like so much excitement.
Good. It should. Because it's like, I mean, now listen, when my feet hit the ground in the morning, I get out of bed. I literally like, I'm like, ugh, and like hunched over, and my husband laughs. He's like, here comes the old lady. And I hobble to the toilet. I pee, but then we're like wind up dolls.
Yeah, yeah.
The Tin Man. You just got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Then you feel good.
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, it's like little things like that remind me every morning. I'm like, yep, thanks, cancer. And then you keep going.
Yeah,
You
totally.
know? So,
I want to talk about alcohol.
yeah, let's do
It's been on my mind just so much. And we've talked about this and I've talked about it online, but like, I feel like I'm in my party years
Yes.
and it's tough because I can't like enjoy it I enjoy it, but I always have a back log of anxiety around it. And I know you drink for some time after going through treatment and now you don't.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So alcohol is interesting. Cancer changes a lot. Cancer does not change certain things that we had before. And sometimes it doesn't even change them after. Meaning, I always drank. I was always giving you like after the show, we would go out till 2 a.m. It was like a very showgirl thing and living in New York. And then like I dated DJs, so I'd be at the club.
Right.
It was wild. And like, would I drink too much? Probably, right? So this is the proclivity I had. That was my thing. I say everybody has an off ramp, whether it's eating or drinking or whatever, right? And so then I get breast cancer. Why am I thinking, can I still drink? Like, why was it like a very important thing to ask my oncologist? She's like, you really like wine? Because that was so scary to me. My thing that I deal with trauma, this is how I was dealing with trauma my whole life. I realize this more now.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you're going to take my thing away from me? Then how am I going to handle having breast cancer? Wild, right? Like, then she was like, oh, you can have some wine if you feel good. So I drank during breast cancer, drank during treatment. Now, not like blackout,
right?
But like I'm drinking wine because I'm terrified.
Right.
And what's my thing? It's wine.
Yeah.
So then after, survivorship is hard. And because wine is my thing, and because my doctor's like, you know what, Sarah, wine is not going to bring your breast cancer back. Because I don't think she realized that like some nights I would, have all the wine on a regular basis. Right. So I continued that behavior through breast cancer, and I was using it then as an off switch for the trauma that I had endured. And so that was like my PTSD. Instead of really facing it head on, sober and clear, I was still drinking wine like I was before breast cancer. I was like, breast cancer is not going to stop me from living my life.
Yeah.
But it made me realize, it made me take a hard look at the relationship I had with drinking.
Right.
And it made me realize that in this phase of my life, which we haven't talked about our fertility journey, but I'm a mom. I'm a new mom, guys. I have a toddler named Chance. We can touch on it briefly. Like, miracle baby after breast cancer. In this there is no time for, what ended up happening was my drinking made me feel disconnected from myself, which is the work that I was also doing besides the drinking, was to bring myself back to myself after breast cancer. So it's constantly at war with that.
Yes.
Like, why are you doing all these exercise classes, all this therapy, and then you're going to drink a bottle of wine and it's just like erasing it.
Right.
So in my survivorship journey, I started really thinking about my drinking. And then looking back even pre-cancer, and I realized like it was not normal. And in this moment in my life, I want to remember every eyelash on my child's face. I don't want to numb out from that.
Yeah.
I mean, some days when he throws himself on the ground and has a tantrum, I was like, give me that bottle of wine. Give it to me. Yeah. That mommy wine culture.
Yeah.
And I want to be so embodied and so clear in my life. This is for me now, right? So I decided, I was like, let me cut back. So I would take a month off from drinking. And then I would like go do plant medicine in the jungle and like that, I would do like some ayahuasca. And then the ayahuasca told me like, you shouldn't drink. And then I would like not drink, and then I would drink again. And then I couldn't find a balance.
Right.
So I chose 6 months ago to stop drinking completely. Again, not because I was an alcoholic, but because after cancer, you can see things clearly, like where you want to take your life.
Yeah.
And it just didn't fit into it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was incapable, and here's the important part for you. I was incapable of having balance with the wine.
Right.
So I just took it out.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a year of no drinking. And I will tell you, I miss my wine. Like yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, and I told you, I was like, nothing, like, what's better than a margarita? Nothing.
Do you feel like your body still craves it?
Not physically, because so this is my full long-winded thing. I'm not drinking. I feel better than I've ever felt. I'm clearer than I ever felt. I show up to the function. Like right now in this podcast, if I would have had wine last night, I wouldn't be able to own my words like I'm owning them now.
Yes.
Again, I'm 44. It's very different. Mom, if I think the value where you are in your life, and I'm not trying to mom you. I'm a big sister you though. Is like if I was back in my 20s and like living that, like the clubs and the fun and the stuff, like it would be a very weird struggle for me, because I think the socializing with the drinks is fun and important and part of this whole thing, like going to events and if you're able to find balance with it, and you still feel good, like I couldn't find that.
I just think it's like the New York culture of it all. It's like we're drinking every single night.
Yeah. And it's not normal, although we think it's normal.
No, it's not normal at all.
Right.
And like, I do love the element of like, oh, it's a Wednesday, like, and I want to see my friend I haven't seen in a while. Let's go grab a drink.
Yes.
I know for me, I actually don't love alcohol that much, where like I would much rather have a glass of wine than a than a tea with someone, but I love the culture
Yeah.
of going to get a drink with a friend.
Then you should do that, girl. Because
I
it's not going to
know.
bring your cancer. Sorry. Like, I'm not a doctor, but like, but if it brings you more mental noise in your heart than it does joy, then that is
I think the scale is like almost
even.
not even yet, but it weighs at different times. I still think I'm like wanting to drink more than I am not wanting to drink, or that I have anxiety about drinking. But I am doing my Lupron injection today, so I think I'm going to talk about this. I just completely lost my train of thought.
About you drinking and like and having a drink and like socializing.
I was talking with one of my friends who like hasn't had cancer. She's normal, so good with advice, and
Love
she was talking
normies.
about she was talking about how like me getting cancer in the first place wasn't my fault. And I know people say that, and I embody that. Like, I feel that for that. I'm like, I don't think I caused my cancer, or like whatever. Like, really so young, such a freak accident. I think if it were to reoccur, I would have a really tough time feeling like it wasn't my fault. Because I have all this knowledge now.
Yeah.
That like, that's just my biggest fear is like, if it were to reoccur,
Yeah.
I wouldn't regret the great times that I've had with alcohol, but I would feel responsible that I didn't
Do everything.
do everything I could.
I think that's where the balance comes in. I think truly, and this is like a deep, dark, intrusive thought of mine, because I was always like, oh, it was never like, because I asked my doctor the minute I got diagnosed, I was like, hey, so I drank a lot. Like, I partied. I was partying. She's like, you didn't cause your cancer. And I was like, are you just saying that though? Because like that would not get us anywhere if you were like, maybe you did. And I think this all the time. I'm like, maybe my drinking caused my cancer. Now I have a genetic mutation and whatever. All the time I think about my party days, right? And every doctor swears that I didn't cause it, right? And in a recurrence, it's the same thing of anything. It's like if we live our life not eating sugar because someone somewhere was like, sugar feeds your cancer. Like, don't eat the whole candy store. And it's the same thing with the wine. Like, not one thing. Processed meat. My oncologist was like, girl, if turkey brought your cancer back, you would have to eat a turkey sandwich, like a double-decker for every meal, every
Right.
day.
Like, if it was one thing.
If it was
Yeah.
one thing. And so I look at anything like that now. And my choice to not drink is completely independent of anything breast cancer related. And
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I stopped drinking not because of recurrence fear at all. Because I felt empowered with this knowledge of saying, yes, we do know the science. Not drinking is the safest, right? And we don't need to drink to live. But it's a lifestyle choice. It's like any lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
There's this new thing. All the kids are talking about smoking again, right? Everyone's like, smoking's cool. I'm like, smoking's not cool.
Guys.
But I smoked a cigarette drunk, like on many an occasion.
Totally.
That was not what gave me cancer.
Right.
Because I didn't do it all. I did it like once in a blue moon.
Right.
You know? So like there's all this. None of us, if we lived this puritanical life where we're afraid of everything, then why are we living?
I know.
You know? And that, again, this is such a personal decision.
I think
for
it's
you.
working towards balance for me right now.
That's amazing. I support that balance 100%. And when something's out of balance, we bring it back.
Yeah.
That to me is the work in survivorship with owning our fear of recurrence.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, what did we do all this for if not to live?
Yeah.
Like drinking a glass of wine is living. Please, when this year is up, I don't think I'll ever go back to drinking the way I used to. But you know I'm going to have a beautiful glass of champagne on a rooftop somewhere.
Totally.
You know, or a margarita on Cinco de
Yeah.
Mayo.
I think it's just like, okay, if it's a Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, and we're having 6, and then
Right.
Wednesday we go out and you're going to do a drink with a friend, and then it turns into 3.
Yeah.
And then Thursday you have a birthday party, and then Friday you're throwing a party. And
So we bring it back.
yeah, we gotta,
Yeah.
yeah,
All in good measure.
so many factors here. Should we talk about baby Chance?
I love talking about baby Chance. So part of my work in the breast cancer community, if anyone that's listening is new to me, not to you, no one's, my girl, I'm so proud of you, is that most of my work is in the fertility sphere. So in oncofertility, because my own story of fertility through breast cancer is one that has, to me, the most important thing that's come out of it. And the most life-changing thing is I became a mom through my breast cancer journey. And we made one embryo, those 2 rounds of IVF, I'll take you back. We were able to make one day 7 AC embryo. I know you had Dr. Lucky on here, who is my girl at RMA. She was not my doctor, but she helped us along. Dr. Lucky's like, I was real afraid for you, girl. That embryo was didn't really have a chance of working, right? Had a 20% chance of working and becoming a live birth. So we named him Chance. We named our embryo Chance when we made him, and we froze him. And then I went to do chemo and all that, and we knew he was a boy. And then after chemo, we checked my eggs, we checked my fertility. And now anyone that's listening, a lot of people get their egg count back, not affected after chemo. Mine, my certain age, I was just at like that kind of just old enough, and chemo ripped through my body, and I had no chance of my fertility coming back afterwards. They were like, your AMH, your egg count is gone. There's no eggs, there's no follicles, everything is done. So I had this one embryo. And a lot of people can get pregnant after breast cancer or any cancer. Just want to say that. But every story is different. We had one embryo, and my oncologist, said, I don't want you to carry this pregnancy because you're on medication for another, at this point, 7 years. I'd give you a break from your medication, which they do for a lot of people, to try and carry this embryo. But you've never been pregnant. I'll give you a break when you're 44. That's 5 years after my diagnosis. Well, 44 years old, one embryo, never been pregnant, geriatric to the extreme pregnancy, you should do a surrogate. And so then I had to grieve the loss of ever carrying a baby. I had to no wonder I drank so much wine. I was like, is this going to work?
This is
Am I ever going to be a mom?
Major stuff,
like once in a lifetime stuff. Like, I wanted to be a mom I wanted to have a genetic baby with my husband.
Yes.
Right. And we got married along the way. He proposed to me during chemo. We missed that. Got proposed to during chemo. Got married right after treatment. I had chic short hair for our wedding. Got married in San Francisco where we fell in love. Yeah, like this is real life. Like this is, if it's gone, it's gone, right? Like, so I have this one chance at being a mom of a baby that's James and I. We were going to adopt. We were, you could do egg donors, but we were like, we're going to adopt if this doesn't happen for us. And we found the most beautiful angel named Whitney, surrogate, to carry him. And the transfer worked. And we set up a camera just because I wanted to always, because it felt so out of body. I just set up my phone and I was like, I want to get this phone call. When you get the phone call, if the transfer worked or not, either way, I was going to share it because I detailed my journey. I had the breast cancer diaries on my Instagram. I had the surrogacy diaries. I wanted people to see all of it, the good, the bad, the falling in love, the, falling out of, all of it. Yeah, so the camera caught it and we literally got the phone call. I'll never forget. And the head of our surrogacy agency was like, let's just cut to the chase. It's positive. And I can't even tell you the scope of emotions that happened in that split second. And it's on film, so you can go watch it, guys. You can go watch it on my Instagram. But yeah, and now he's 2.25.
It's literally one of the most incredible videos on the internet.
Oh my God, thanks. I still cry when I watch it. I'm like, it happened to you.
Yeah, because I think it also embodies so much of the miracle of creation that a lot of people, it happens in this very traditional process, but you forget that even however it happens, it is a beautiful, beautiful thing that a lot of people just either take for granted or don't have the same appreciation maybe.
I think it is an example, and this is important for us as breast cancer survivors and anyone listening that's been in any diagnosis of anything, whether it's infertility, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's I don't know, Crohn's, whatever, anything that you're dealing with, and people are giving you numbers. People are giving you science-based numbers, which are super important. I just have to say that because we're living in America right now. Medical advice is important from people who are doctors.
Correct.
But there is also, besides the numbers, I'm 7%. What are you? Do you know your recurrence rate? I'm 7% now. I was 12, but I took medicine to bring it down.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't
Good.
ever want to know.
Great. They gave me mine. I remembered. So that I'm 7%. That's my number.
Wait, that's great.
Great. Love that. It's in your odds are in your favor.
I love that number.
Chance had a 20% chance of working, right? So we have all this data. And then beyond that, I believed my son was coming in my heart. I would go to the beach every night at sunset and I would drop to my knees and I would like get up in the sand and I would look in the sky, and right where the sun was setting is where he lived, and I would talk to him. And I never forget, and I'm going to cry again. I would talk to him every night. So I brought James down to the beach one night and I was like, okay, talk to Chance. And my husband is an investment banker and he's like so black and white. And he was like, what do you know? Why, Sarah, what are you doing? I was like, talk to him. I was like, talk to him right now. Talk to our baby. He's like, oh, she's lost it. And he looked up in the sky and he was like, hey, little dude. He was like, we really want to meet you, okay? So can you come? And right as soon as he said that, one flash of pink lightning. I shit you not, guys, because the sunsets in the Hamptons are so beautiful. A flash of lightning. And it was like this pink spot in the sky. And
So
I said,
beautiful.
he heard you. I said, now do you believe?
Yeah.
And so there's magic in this too. There's magic in believing that you're not going to get your cancer again. There is owning like so deeply a part of you. So, if we lived in the numbers, man, wouldn't we be scared all the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you gotta trust. You gotta trust and believe. Talk in the sky.
I love that. That makes me want to do more like spiritual work.
Let's go do drugs in the jungle. Okay, you can cut that out, but you don't have to. Yeah, no, listen, I do I do the talk therapy, which is really important. I'll
Do you
go do
still?
yeah. But only I do talk therapy when I need it. Like when I'm going through a
I feel
hard
like
time.
I need that.
You should.
I think I'm going to go back to therapy.
If you find the one, you've got to find the one.
I have my one.
Great. Then I dip in and out, and that's why I love her.
Yeah, I
She's
think
like, "You
she'll
need
take
me?"
me on like a once off basis once in a while.
It's so good. Not your family therapist.
No, that's her.
I love her. I wanted to talk to her.
No,
What's
Ruth.
her name?
Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Yeah, Ruth will have me in once in a while, but her roster is full. She's busy with my family, I'll tell you
better
that.
fit you in, Ruth. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Your whole family keeps her busy. Yeah. So I use all modalities still. I believe the numbers are important, but I went to the jungle and did ayahuasca for a week with a super well-respected person in the psychedelics realm.
What was that like? Was
Also
that
my
for
friend.
healing?
For healing. I mean, I could go on. This is like a whole separate podcast, but I experienced childbirth on ayahuasca because I never got to.
What?
The last ceremony.
Wait, is it with multiple?
You do 3 ceremonies in
Okay.
1 week.
Wow.
I took the medicine and they're hours long. They're like 6 hours. You're in
Okay.
the journey, right? And I was in a super safe place. And it's 11. We're gonna finish.
Yeah, no, we're fine.
But I experienced at one point there's music and the drums started and I started having contractions, and I'm like, whoa, and I'm like. And then the drums are getting louder and I'm pushing, and then James shows up in my mind's eye. My husband's holding my hand saying, push baby, you're almost there. And the doctors are yelling at me. And this is real. My body is convulsing. And then I'm pushing and I'm yelling. Everybody's on their own journey in this circle. There's 12 people. I'm screaming and I'm in labor. I'm fully having a baby. And he's like, you're there. And I took one last scream, and it was like a scream heard round the jungle. And I gave birth, and I felt a shoo. And then they were like, congratulations. And they put the baby in my arms, and I'm sobbing. And it was healing from the entire fertility journey. And I got to give birth. And that was it was the most powerful thing. I never did expect that to happen when I went. I wanted to heal from the PTSD from cancer and from infertility. Yeah. And then it's a whole long thing. And I looked down and it wasn't my baby in my arms. It was an embryo we had lost.
Oh.
It's a whole thing. But yes, I've worked with mushrooms. I've worked a couple different modalities. Not all the time. Only done basically 2 big
And you found that to be so helpful in healing.
So helpful in healing, because it got me like into my subconscious. Because when you're having trauma from breast cancer, from infertility,
Right.
you store shit in the back because you got to keep going.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you're not healing while you're doing it. You're getting to the end.
Yeah.
So you put that back and your body just like, like compartmentalizes it.
Yeah.
So what the psychedelics do is they come in and they whack your head open and they take all that stuff. I mean, things came out, girl, in these ceremonies, like DJ that I dated once, like did something real bad. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be here. You're not from cancer era. You know? I found it really, really powerful. And I,
Is
with
it
the right.
scary?
Sure. Because you like don't know what
What's going to come up?
Yeah. You don't know you don't know. Like, you don't know. And someone came all the way to the jungle and nothing happened because she wasn't open to it. She wasn't ready.
So when you're doing these ceremonies, you're like going through this experience and then talking about it with the group after?
You do. And you don't have to share, but they integrate. And then you have calls after. Again,
okay,
you have to do it with someone who is
trusted.
Because like
who's amazing.
Now it's like apparently, is it a thing? Is it a thing in your friend group? Everybody's like, yeah, like we're going to Burning Man and doing like all that. Like, I'm not mocking people, but I'm saying you have to be really conscious about
the
who does
setting
it.
and place and all of that.
Yeah. I'm a huge
And
proponent,
then
though.
when everyone's going through this experience simultaneously, is it like interrupting when someone else is like, someone's giving childbirth and someone's opening up something else? Like, are you aware of the other people?
You are.
Okay.
You're aware. And I think it's like, there is, because it doesn't like completely take your thinking brain offline.
Right.
I mean, if you allow it to, you are dropped into the experience. But I definitely, like, one of the girls next to me went into crazy hyena laughter, like way before my medicine kicked in. And I was like, and just in my brain, I was like, get it, girl, go there. And the part of me was like, ooh, I want something big to happen. So you can still have that dialogue. While you're in because it comes in waves too. Yeah.
I feel like so many people are opening up to less traditional forms of therapy and healing. And I even like on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they're doing.
Oh my God,
like,
I've never watched that.
I think they're doing like MDMA therapy.
That's what I did. So I did an MGMA mushroom journey together.
But they're getting like IVs in a clinic and then doing talk therapy.
Oh, interesting. Oh, like they do that with ketamine too.
Yeah. Sorry. It's ketamine therapy.
Okay.
Ketamine therapy.
Yeah, they do that with ketamine. I tried that once and it wasn't for me. I tried like an at-home kind of thing. Yeah, I think that with these modalities, what they're doing is and again, not everything is for everyone. My husband won't do talk therapy. He's like, it's pointless. It doesn't work on me. And I've seen it because it doesn't, because he overrides it. He needs these plant medicine.
To be whacked in the head.
Yeah, some people need their skulls split open and you're not, that's what these medicines do, right? So I think like I'm really into the fact that we have all these healing modalities, yoga, meditation, whatever it is, it's the same thing, it's balance. Don't have a crumb cake every day. Like some people, they're like, I can only do ayahuasca to find myself. No, that's not, we use these things, we pull from I call it, and they'll bring us full circle. Breast cancer, infertility, whatever you're going through, no one has tools big enough in your toolkit. And we went into this with pretty good tools. I mean, you grew up in your family. I know Jill.
Yeah.
Queen Jill. She set you up for success.
Yes,
like
totally.
Emotional well-being, all of it. We have these big, beautiful toolkits. Well, no one has tools big enough to deal with what we dealt with. So how do we then build our toolkit? We pull from different things and we put them in our little kit. And then when we need to pull them out, we can. So the more options we have in there to combat the PTSD that we carry from all that we went through is the better.
Yeah.
And who's to say what's right for me is not right for you, but try it.
Right.
Try everything twice.
I love that.
That's my husband's. I stole it. Oh, you know what? One thing is important. My gynecologist, when I found my lump, said you have no family history of breast cancer. That doesn't matter, guys. If you're listening,
okay.
Family history, 92% now of all breast cancers have no family history. Did you not know that?
No, but it's like when I tell people and I'm like, oh, I had breast cancer and I have no family history, they're like, no family history? But I'm going to be like, yeah, it actually doesn't even matter now.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
No. I mean, listen, again, I'm not a doctor, but I sit in enough symposiums.
Genetic history, different?
So genetic history, I have a genetic mutation called BRIP1. Rip one. Gotta say it like that.
Rip one.
Rip one. It's like BRCA, but not as hardcore as BRCA. So not as indicative that you will get breast cancer. BRCA is something at like 60-some% chance of getting breast
To
cancer.
like 80%.
Craziness.
Yeah.
BRIP1 is not. BRIP1 is more indicative of ovarian cancer, which is why I had my ovaries removed.
Okay.
Once my fertility journey was concluded. So that will tip the scales. But family history, like my mom doesn't have the genetic mutation. It came from my dad.
Interesting.
Because she got tested once we found mine. They only tested me for genetics after I got breast cancer.
Right.
I think all people in their 20s should
Get
have access.
genetic testing.
Oh my God. If I would have
totally
known.
agree.
I mean, 100%.
But people don't want to.
Right. But like then I maybe wouldn't have drank so much tequila. Do you know what I'm saying?
1,000%.
Like it just would have been like, maybe have like a little more ownership of your health. Because I thought I was indestructible in my 20s, right? In my 30s.
I think it would be awesome if everyone could get genetic testing.
I think we're moving more towards that.
I agree.
I think we're moving more towards a world where that happens or the choice is there. Like I want it to become a norm.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that happening. I'm hearing it from the symposiums I'm going to. So I have a genetic mutation will tip the scales more towards a certain chance of getting cancer, along with lifestyle and environmental factors. But family history is not a nail in the coffin. Now, if you have family history of breast cancer, you should get screened more closely.
Right.
Right? Like, yes, it's like if you have family history of colon cancer. I started getting colonoscopies at 35 because my grandfather died of colon cancer.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that if you find a lump and you have no family history, that shouldn't be a reason to not get it checked out. Right?
Absolutely.
Because 90-some% of breast cancers have no family history, meaning most people get it for not a family history, meaning like reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is like major to know.
Good. Yes. So like that's why those are not reasons to not get tested. Like if you feel something and you're not of 40 and a mammogram age yet, we work with B-Sound. We work with an ultrasound screening company. Like you can go get a test. Like, if you see something, say something. Or in this case, if you feel something. I digress. I go back to what we were talking about.
Fertility, freezing
Fertility.
eggs.
Thank you. Yes. So I had no reason to think that I wasn't going to be fine, if I met someone at 38 to try to get pregnant, right? I'm healthy.
Right.
Everything's good down there.
Yeah.
We have no history of anything. Everybody got pregnant easily in my family, whatever. So every year I go to the gynecologist for my annual, and she's like, do you have a serious boyfriend? And I was like, maybe. And she goes, well, if you come back next year and it's not super serious, we got to talk about freezing your eggs. But she did that every year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you not seeing a pattern here? Like,
Yeah.
I'm dating someone for 4 months. He's a fuck
We're
boy.
on and
And then he
off.
ghosts me.
Yeah.
And like, maybe somewhere you should have said, it looks like, this dating thing in New York is crazy. Freeze your eggs.
Let's do it now.
Like maybe that would have been great, Doc. Instead, every year until I hit 38. And that was when
Right.
she was like, next year when you come back, we're doing it. And then I got
Yeah.
breast cancer.
Okay.
Right. And I tell the story. I was in the dressing room of Rock of Ages, and there were 4 of us, and we all just went through breakups at 30. Okay. And it was right in 2010 when they were starting to really do egg freezing.
yeah.
It was like when it was becoming accessible and like somewhat affordable. And someone brought it up, and we were all like kikiing about it between numbers, like in our stripper outfits, like drinking wine. We used to drink wine during that show. So classy. And someone's like, we should freeze our eggs, guys. We just got out of relationships. We're 30. Can you imagine? No, you can't actually, because you're nowhere close to 30.
Soon
You'll be
enough.
there, girl. You already did fertility preservation. So yeah, and so like another girl's like, yeah, isn't that really expensive? And I'm like, yeah, guys, it's like 10K. Whatever. I don't know how much it was. I said 10K. And so we all agreed that it was too much money for 4 showgirls on Broadway to do. And then we went to the Barney's Warehouse sale, and I bought a pair of Balmain boots that were a size and a half too big for me for like $1,000. And I'm like, those Balmain boots could be my babies.
Yeah.
Like I could have had some frozen eggs instead. And I twisted my freaking ankle in those Balmain boots at a strip club after the Rock of Ages reunion concert. And then I got rid of them after wearing them once because they were too big. My point is,
Yeah.
freeze your eggs.
This is major.
Freeze your eggs. Just do it because you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going to happen. I didn't have a boyfriend, but that's not all we measure life by. I also didn't know I was going to get breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm here.
something could happen. So just
Yeah.
have the little frozen babies there if you can do it. And there's so many ways that we can get fertility assistance now, financial aid.
Yeah.
So anyway, ladies, if you're thinking about doing it, just do it.
Freeze your eggs.
Freeze your eggs. Thanks.
Sarah Strimel Bentley,
Love you.
thank you for coming on Pink 365 for all of your wisdom, knowledge, and being, I think, the best storyteller that we've ever had on the pod.
Oh my God. I'm honored. And I love you so much. And what you're doing is so important for everybody. So this is the best.
I love you. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Pink 365. If you like this episode, please give us a rating, a like, share with a friend and someone who needs to hear this. I hope you love the conversation as much as we did, and I will see you next time. Love ya.